Well, good morning, folks. Welcome to the lounge. I don't know. I just lounge music. It's lounge music. I don't know lounge. I just look. What do I know? What do you know? What does anybody know? Nobody knows. That's part of the problem. Nobody knows. Okay, I'm done with that. That was funny for a 30th of a second, which means I typically went just a little too far. Good morning, Bob. Boy, I've been trying to sort stuff since last night with this whole thing. And now I've got all of these things. It's like, well, I don't even know what to do with some of this stuff. I've got some cool things. I've got a Battlestar Galactica folder. That's good because I just found a whole bunch of Battlestar Galactica blueprints. It's like, well, horribly useful. I think they're already in this folder, which is good because then I can just say, do you want to replace these? And you belong in the Star Trek folder. There we go. And whatever that was, it's done. And I'm just all these. Yeah, that's actually exactly why I chose it. It's such wonderful lounge music. Like you're just sitting there, sitting in the lounge, kind of just waiting for things to happen, kind of hanging out. You know, do. Well, part of it is I think we definitely have duplicates. This is Star Trek 3. Belongs up there. But yeah. Hi. So, yeah. It's a thing. I think. Meh? What is this, Picard? This is Picard. These interesting pictures and bizarre things going on, and I don't know. I have no earthly idea what the heck I'm doing. All right. I like the fact that in my Star Trek folder I have an unsorted one, and then I have a sort me folder. Oh, I see why. This sort me folder is not Star Trek. That's part of the problem. Things ended up in my Star Trek folder that are not, in fact, Star Trek. And then where do I put things like Gigi Edgley dressed in Star Trek uniform? Do you put that in your Farscape folder? Or do you put that in your Star Trek folder? You know, these are all the things. All right. It has been fascinating to wander down memory road. However, we have work to do. There we go. Time to hit the road again. Yeah, I'm going to probably stop doing one in the morning and one at night because I'm getting that ADD problem where I'm feeling like I'm too chaotic and I can't focus on one or the other. So I may have to. It's causing more chaos in my world to do that. I just managed to train myself to be able to handle 2 to 4 hours in the morning and then 2 hours at night as a work group. And that's already disruptive enough. And I'm having a hard time focusing when we have 2 projects going on at the same time. And so I think it's causing me to be much more sporadic and weird. And like why I did that random painting yesterday for no reason, just because. I do like this Bookfinder's cover. So I've been building a folder where my artwork, I'm just putting like the best of my artwork over the last 30 years in. And it's very reassuring. It just makes me feel good. I'm like, I actually do work. And now that I've been going back through things and kind of pulling up stuff and trying to get things kind of figured out where I'm going and stuff like that. Now that I'm doing that, it's been nice to kind of look into that folder and realize that I have done work. I mean, I always feel kind of, especially with Can, I always feel just a little bit, inadequate. He draws like 63 pages every second, and it's like, what do you? And I've never been that fast, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but it does make me go, what? Why? I'm grinding. I am looking, by the way, for my drive safe materials for loading. If you're wondering what I'm doing. Because I have a drive safe meeting today at 3 online with my boss, and we're going to discuss what the next move is. So I kind of want to finish all of this prep work that I've been doing. I've been doing all this prep work, and I want it to be ready. And I just really, really want to restart and get a good start on these things. So we're going to do that. We're going to do that today. Oh, no, I'm not trying to keep up with him. That's not what's going on. It's just one of those, it's kind of like you can be a Corvette and still be like shocked by the Tesla Plaid. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to be a Tesla Plaid. You could still be a Corvette, but just kind of like, woof, and after being in the same spot with a Tesla Plaid for so long, you're like, am I going too slow? You know what I mean? Because it just feels that way. Which is why I said every so often, it's nice to look back and go, oh yeah, I've got some decent artwork in here, kind of good to get my bearings, get my groundings, find where I am, things like that. I am not in any way having problems or feeling inadequate or feeling like I am incapable or anything like that. I'm just like, woof, sometimes it's just a little shocking, that's all. Where is the thing I was working on? I was working on a thing, and now I have lost my thing. Where did it go? There's the measurement thing. I'm looking right at it. That's why I'm looking right at it. I'm like, where is it? I don't know. Where'd it go? All right. It's set in concrete. Ha ha ha. Are you OOH?
I am OOH.
I love you. Have a good day. You look nice. Oh, and like Papa would say, you smell good. This is the thing my grandfather used to always do. He'd come up to me and he'd go, you smell good. I thought he was funny. My grandpa was a weird person. It's always nice to think that that person, that individual, that human is. Good luck, Mariah. We're all counting on you. Click. Man, Leslie Nielsen just like totally got an entirely new career out of that, didn't he? I mean, like, you think about it, from Police Squad all the way through, he got a completely different career. From being a leading man all the way through to being like one of the greatest comedians. What a lucky guy. I mean, like, just thinking about that, like, not only did he get to really stretch as an actor, but he got to be popular with two different generations. Like, he was super popular with my dad and my dad's generation. And then for my generation, he was a comedian that we all loved and he was beloved. And I just, that's really cool. You know what I mean? Like, it's just really nice. Good job. Good job, Leslie Nielsen. We're doing good and stuff. And you know what? I'm just gonna. And when they did, boy, did he move on to the correct part of the universe for him. I'm just gonna put in. I feel like that's very close to the gray that's on the side already. I don't know if I like that. Oh, except these are already sidewalks. So yes, we can do this. There. Picked the wrong day to stop sniffing glue. He really did too. I mean, like, thinking about that, because you're right, Lloyd Bridges was definitely. Lloyd Bridges will always be Admiral Kane in my book. Although, I have to say, if you're going to do the Admiral Kane thing, Michelle Forbes totally took it. And I'm like, I don't know which Admiral Kane I like better. Michelle Forbes Admiral Kane or Lloyd Bridges Admiral Kane. Right? Because, like, I mean, since Ensign Rowe, I've had a big crush on Michelle Forbes. And bringing Michelle Forbes back to be Admiral Kane really was like a thing. Like, because I thought she was attractive as a kid because hormones. But then she comes back in a command position. And I'm like, she's actually still pretty hot, and actually kind of hotter now. Like, man. You know, I was like, meh. Kind of have a thing for women in uniform. Always do. Always will. All right. Intersection complete. This is our normal intersection. Yeah, I've got. I can't do that. I can't keep doing this kind of thing. I'm so distracted right now, and I'm so discombobulated because my brain is still kind of processing Silver Pentacle, and it's like, so. As much as I absolutely adore the fact that Brent is keeping me on target, I don't think I have the capability to do this flip-flopping thing. We're gonna have to stay on one target for a while and then move to another target, then stay on that target for a while and then move to another target, which is fine. It's totally okay. Yeah, it's and the worst part is I've taken Adderall this morning, so I've got no real reason to be this discombobulated and spacey, but I'm totally discombobulated and spacey, and my brain doesn't want to settle in, and it's just I'm having a hard time keeping not focus. Well, no, maybe focus. I'm having a hard time keeping focus. I know I've got to finish this project, and I'm just so discombobulated. And I just like the way you put it in there. Like the ADD is acting up. Like, you know, my ADD is flaring. And when it rains, my ADD flares up. Well, it's the old ADD flaring up again, Martha. Yeah. But I am sort of sitting there going, oh. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. And there's just too many pieces. And maybe that's what I need to do, is build a plan. And that's maybe a better idea, because if I get some kind of, I've got too many things open. Oh my God. My kids cleaning up their school. So these are all my kids in my school. I like this guy over here. But when people ask me if my kids cleaned the school or not, I'm like, yeah, they totally cleaned the school. And this is a picture of it. I went around and took a picture of it. She's even calling him out for it. That's even funnier. She's like pointing at him and saying, dude, you can't just do that. That's very funny. That cracks me up. I know, right? I mean, I loved my kids, though. Those were the best kids. It's really, really weird to think that my kids are now coming up on 30. You know what I mean? Like, my kids are almost middle-aged. That is a really weird thing to think about. It's really strange. You know, it's super, super weird. It's part of the reason why I'm having kind of a spin out, I think, is like I'm confused about what was I doing in my life. Not really, just kind of trying to gather things. Here's my Space, the Final Frontier directory. Right? The child support's on 457 of those guys. That sucks. I have an unnatural love for this class, the Daedalus class ships. Just love these ships. And it's stupid, but I love them. They're ugly, but I dig them so much. Never been a horribly big fan of the Enterprise refit version of the Excelsior, but this is kind of somewhere in between because it's got the castles on the front of the warp nacelles, but it doesn't have the flare in the secondary hull, which is kind of strange. I'm not sure exactly what to think about that. 41 looks like 833, so I don't know who that is. Yeah. Yeah, I just and maybe it's because I was a kid when Star Trek 3 came out, and it very much impressed upon me that that was the bad guy ship. You know what I mean? And so maybe that's part of it. I don't know. Because, I mean, you know how Star Trek 3 goes. Love this picture. Mostly because no matter what, I will always have a fondness in my heart for lollipops. The lollipops are the best. I feel like actively saying I have an unnatural love for lollipops seems like a bad idea. I'm just saying. You know what else I have an unnatural love for? No matter what. There's something wonderful about the Soyuz launch vehicle, the L or whatever that is. Is it the L7? L7. It's something 7 launch vehicle, but it's still an excellent vehicle. And this design has not changed since the 50s. Right? So weird. Speaking of bees, can I just mention how much bee wings are pretty kick butt? I don't know why I like bee wings either. There's really no logic to me liking bee wings, but I do. You know who else I love? I love this ship. Alterium. I'll never not love Gunbuster. For all of my life, I will love Gunbuster. Good morning, Donald. R7, thank you. I don't know why I got stuck with the R7. It's just the R7's the base rocket, and they just keep making them because they work. I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, R7's just a. I mean, it's not an elegant design. It's not even really that pretty, but it works. You know? I mean, it does its job. It's a just a little workhorse. Oh, I've got Porco Rosso cells. Somebody just scanned in a ton of Porco Rosso cells. They're production cells. I mean, like, just such lovely elegance, right? I mean, look how beautiful these are. I love Porco Rosso. This is by far my favorite Ghibli flick. And I know that Miyazaki hates it. But I mean, it's full of pretty planes. Right? I mean, sometimes you don't need to fix something, you know? Sometimes you really just don't. Maybe I need a break. I've just been like all over the place, and maybe what I just need is a break. I'm setting up all of this stuff that's like my artwork. There's some interesting stuff in here. There's some old stuff in here. Right? Wow. I'm not gonna lie, that's a pretty dynamic picture going on here. And this sketch is nice. These are all sketches from back in the days when I was. I hope so. It'll be 2069, but yeah, I hope so. I hope we're back there by then. Oh yeah, that's not. Ooh. I like drawing mecha. Makes me happy. Huh, opening a planet is really? The reason I'm looking back here is because Planetes 1 and 2 is right there. The manga, which I guess shouldn't come as a surprise to you that. Well, in 2069, it'd be the 100th year. So we landed on the moon on July 20th, 1969. Look at that. I don't even know what that is, but I like it. And the only thing I used from 3D modeling here is just a grid box, just to give me the correct perspective. I hear you. It's like an ogre thing. This is another one that probably ought to be redrawn. I went through and scanned a bunch of sketches in, and then I kind of like this one though. Like this guy here, or rather gal, Batgirl. And I mean, it's 2005. I don't know why. Interestingly, did not ink the V, but I can see it in the blue line. But this is a piece from 2005. I don't know. I don't know why I didn't ink the. That's really strange, but okay. Yeah, I'm just kind of going through here and looking at some of these things. I lost this fight. That's all right. That's not a bad picture either. And these are just random sketches that I ultimately scanned in. People keep talking about my Harley. Here's the original sketch. April takes charge. I thought that was. There's another character that's that's a bad guy and part of Shredder's clan. And so I even had the bus in the background. I don't remember who it was. Oh, my Wonder Woman. I was working on this Wonder Woman. I never finished it. I love the idea that her invisible jet was an F-35. Should have finished this picture. Boy, this picture would have been cool. Especially with an F-35. I just love the idea of an F-35. You know what I mean? Like that's her invisible jet. Right? Prehensile hair shaped like wings. That could definitely fly. I'm okay with this. Somewhere I just went through and pulled all of these pictures, and it has. But wouldn't it be cool have the invisible jet be an F-35. Yeah. So just like it's sitting there, and then all of a sudden it just whoosh, and it's hovering and then lands. Yeah. De-invisibles, like it cloaks. That's what I put in here, was the concept was that it cloaked. Working weirdly on the dirty pair. My K is pretty awesome. My Yuri, weird. I don't know what happened. Why I stopped in the middle of. I mean, Yuri's not even complete. My K is really like almost completely done. It's so weird. It's like the weirdest things to see these things being partially done. Here's a Daredevil with the hand all around it. She was a Wonder Woman. I love this angle for Daredevil. This was a pretty cool angle. And I also made all the like ninjas look like a hand reaching out across, and I thought that was pretty cool. Oh, here's Daughters of the Dragon. I am totally having a midlife crisis. Where did all of these come from? That's ancient. I don't even know where that's from. I know where that's from, though. That was one of my first commissions ever. It's one of my favorite characters. This was my role-playing game character. So the character itself was her. Her name was I just lost her name, but I have it, I swear. Maria. And she found this credit card that was very much so. At the time that we played this superhero game, there were a bunch of guys who didn't know anything about anime. So I got the idea from, what was that suit up anime that we had right around the edge, right around the turn of 2000, where she had the credit card like thing, and that would make her transform into armor. I'll give it in a minute. All I can remember was Machine Gal was the bad guys. Anyway, so I got the same idea where she had a card, but instead of turning, it made her into Mr. T, Mr. Tornado, who was an AI but functionally stupid. So he had an IQ of like 8. And the problem, of course, was that when she transformed, she had an IQ of like super awesome, 18 or something like that. But she couldn't speak when she was in Mr. Tornado's mode. But Mr. Tornado could speak, but she was in control of his movements. So we had these moments where he would like pick up the bad guy who he didn't know was the bad guy, and he'd be like, "Hi, I'm Mr. Tornado. I don't know why I'm punching you, but I'm sure it's a good reason," because he didn't know anything. He was dumb, and he would say stupid things, and it was very funny. And this was actually one of like my favorite characters I had ever played. I am totally having a midlife crisis of sorts. Like that picture, though. Hello, Brent. Brent's like, I need to show up and save Guy. Role-playing low IQ is very challenging. Here's my Declaration class Enterprise. That's an actual painting. Brent, I think that I'm having problems with flip-flopping back and forth between two projects. I don't think I'm doing very well with it. So I'm thinking that, yeah, because I'm having a hard time focusing. I can't stay on task. There's the original pencils for Black Widow. And there's like, that's just cleaned up. Yeah, and there's the inked version of that Black Widow. And then the final version looks like that. Yeah, I'm thinking that might be what I'll do. I have a production meeting today with DriveSafe, and we'll see where they want to go and what the concept and battle plan is for them. I'm not sure what to think about this one. And Geiger counter. Yep. I have a couple of Springs comics in here. My Ashla's Last Stand. Anyway, yes. So we will have to definitely see where we fall at the end of the meeting at 3:00 today to see what position they want to put me on. And I agree with you, Brent. I'm pushing really hard on Airship 27. But like I said, I don't know. I think my priorities there are do the best that I can with what I've got. Yes, I hear you. I know this is the if you don't pay attention to me, I will get in your face thing. I get it. Yeah, and I agree. We certainly have a number of irons in the fire. Now you're just looking at a butt. I get that. You have pause. Did you know that you have pause? You don't care. Maybe. So here's the thing about DriveSafe. No matter what happens with DriveSafe, they've only authorized 25 hours of work. Right? 25 hours, 24 hours, something like 25 hours, 21 hours. I'll have to go back and look at the email. But what it boils down to is it's only 12 days of shows. Right? If you do morning and evening. It's only 12 shows, 6 days. So, and you're probably right. I could probably rattle out all of the rest of those for Airship 27. I see what you're doing, Brent. I get it. which is, oh, that's right. We've got to remember springs. A lot of irons in the fire. I have been so notoriously incapable of finishing work that now that I'm able to finish work, all I've got is work. I feel like I'm talking to my child and telling them that, it doesn't matter what you do. In the end, you still always have your responsibilities. We always have our responsibilities, George.
Always you have your responsibilities, you know that, right?
But springs we can do on Springs Mondays. And in my head, I can do the springs transition because it only takes 2 hours and every one of them is complete. You know what? That's what it is. I have to finish a project per unit. So we can do what you're talking about, Brent, but we have to finish it. So, for example, we work on Airship 27 illustration number 7 until it's done. Then move on to Drive Safe animation number 3 until it's done. And then move on to Airship 27 illustration 8 until it's done. And I can't do the work 2 hours on one and then 2 hours on the other. Because I was just thinking about that. I was like, I can do springs just fine. And the reason is because I only do one comic strip and it's done. It's out the door. It goes away. And that actually kind of explains why I'm doing random paintings too, is because clearly part of the problem is that I want to complete something so that I don't have, I feel like everything's outstanding and that makes things just a little uncomfortable for me. So how about we do that? How about we switch over? Hyperfocus is rebelling. And I think what's happening is that because that painting I just wasted 2 days on it. And it was just random. It's a great painting. I did a great thing and moved on to, I evolved my artistry skill and everything is doing great. However, we just need to finish one project at a time. So we will do that. So Drive Safe is just going to be 6 days straight. And that's what's going to end up happening. We're just going to work 6 days and then all of them will be done, because once all 6 days are done, we will be out of hours available to us. As much as I love this picture, I will draw it someday. Today is not that day. Because we've gotten to here on this illustration and it looks great. I like it. Yeah, I think that's the only way I'll be able to operate. I don't think I operate well if I'm not. I just don't think it works. It does not work. So we'll get back to this guy and we'll finish him as he needs to be finished. That's not the right layer. It's the right layer. It's the wrong color. And I think that's just what we've got. I think I just don't have the ability to do. Right. I don't have the ability to. Which is fine. We just need to sometimes we try to wrangle ADD and make it do our jobs for us, and sometimes we just can't. There's just nothing we can do. ADD is going to do its own thing, and there's nothing we can do about it. Maybe. Let's look at our setup. Let's go back to, because we might be able to do that. That might not be a bad idea. Right? Guide, not control, because there's no controlling. The problem is 7 and 8 will probably take 6 episodes of the show. Yeah, storyboard my schedule. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. Really, honestly, if she hadn't written a longer book, I'd only have eight plates for this. But she wrote a longer book, and so I have 9 plates, and that last plate's going to be a doozy because there's a lot of characters involved there. So I think that we can do 7 and 8 in a group. And the reason is because 8 is just a hug. And that's pretty easy to roll out. Should be simple. Hardly an inconvenience. So but 9 is going to be a long haul. So yeah. The biggest problem I'm running into now is we're running rapidly out of time to do. However, I think you're right, Brent. If we finish this and get it out the door, then I can ask for 6 months before I start 3. Lots of characters means lots of maquettes, means fussing around with a scene until it looks right. There's a lot of fussing going on there. But I think that we can ask for 6 months from Ron before we start Silver Pentacle 3. Except that he still wants a cover, so there's really 4 left. Because there is a cover, he just wants to have a meeting with me before we hit cover, so that he can talk about which one of these 9 we're going to kind of base the cover off of. So there's more guidance coming in this time on Silver Pentacle 2 than we had on Silver Pentacle 1. So it's not a problem. It just means that I don't think we're going to be finished with this project because there's still another group. But I might be able to ask for 6 months before I start the cover and see if he's willing to go there on that. And that would be a thing. We're coming up on the beginning of the next month. Right? So, I mean, like next Saturday, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday is the first. It's the time I'll be with Ron. What I like about this, though, is, well, I guess a lot of things will tell me what's going on with DriveSafe today at 3 o'clock. We have a couple of other problems that are outstanding that I'm hoping we can address that does not involve our videos. Because, I mean, like, we have some rule changes that went on that are not reflected in our layouts. They really should be reflected in our layouts. And so I'm hoping that we can discuss that instead of, and in other words, we'd end up putting off discussing the videos for a while. Moreover, we've picked up another job for them, which we're going to have to deal with at some point too. All right, so all this discussion going on that does not involve me. I don't know why I have this, but okay. So no, things like school buses. When you come up to a school bus and the road is a 2-lane and you are oncoming to the school bus, you must stop. We know that. Up until this last iteration of the driver's handbook, however, that also applied to roads that had a mid-block or didn't have a mid-block crossing, also applied to things with shared turn lanes. And our slides show it that way, but the new handbook has it showing that you do not need to stop if it has a shared turn lane or if it's a 4-lane. So you don't need to stop. And I'm like, okay, but our slides show that you do, and we tell our kids that you do, and we need to at least update that slide, and it needs to be updated so that it matches the rule book. There's another slide in there that talks about the crossing a bicycle lane, which was a rule change as of last year in March, which has never been updated. Yeah, agreed. I think that's our battle plan, Brent. I think we'll go with that. Yeah, except that it's not. That's part of the problem, Bob, is that the new rule book says that as long as it's a 4-lane, you don't have to do it, even if it doesn't have a median. Prior to that, it did say you had to do that as long as it had a median, but it doesn't say that anymore, and so but we have to change that slide. We have a couple of slides that are out of date. We also have absolutely nothing on chain law or on accident alert. We don't even mention it. And I'm like, guys, those are like uniquely Colorado things that happen here all the time. Every winter, we go into accident alert, and chain law goes into effect above 8,000 feet. This happens every winter, and we can't just not talk about these things. Like, these are all things that go into effect. You know, you have to know these things. What does accident alert mean? What does chain law mean? You know, all these things. So No, you need a Class C for a school bus. Because Class C is considered over 26,000 pounds gross footage when filled with kids. I don't think it's over 26,000, actually, now that I think about it. But a bus license, no matter what, a bus license expects that you may be working with 3 axles, and your Class R only covers 2 axles. You'll need just a Class C for a school bus, but you'll need a CDL if you're going to drive RTD. Which, by the way, a CDL requires Class C. Just so that you know. Like, you have to have a Class C to get your CDL. Oh, I need to stand up. All right. Stretching. Okay, guys, I think we've made a plan. I think what we will do is this. I will keep pushing through these last 3 pictures on Silver Pentacle 2 until DriveSafe pulls me off. And then if DriveSafe pulls me off to push the videos right away, I will move to that. And then we will finish all of the videos for DriveSafe and roll that out the door because it's a 6-hour or a 6-day run. So that'll just be 1 week and a day. And we'll set that up and have it rigged and ready to go. And then we will just run it. All of a sudden, we'll just run all 6 days. And we'll push through and get that out of the way. But until they give me the go, I think I will continue to operate on Silver Pentacle and push it through all the way to the end. And I see where you're going, Brent, because of course, if we push Silver Pentacle right now, it's entirely plausible we could, in theory, have all of Silver Pentacle wrapped up by February 4th. In theory. And if that was the case, then I could have my discussion with Ron about what we're going to do on the cover, and and I can ask him for 6 months. And then if I can get 6 months, that puts me through to August at that point, which is good because the next real chunk of things that we need to do is going to be to finish up our 3 32-page books, right? Because we have one omake that is 75% done, so it wouldn't take any real effort to get that out the door. And then we have 2 issues that are 0% done, but they could be done quickly. And if we had that, then we would have literally 5 books on the table. I kind of like this plan. Don't you like this plan? I like this plan, George. You just took my chair. Yes, you took my chair. You goober, you took my chair. Like, why did you do that, you weirdo? Okay, so that's our battle plan. Let's get a thingy out and write that out so that we know what our battle plan is. Because I think we only have about 6 days or so left of Silver Pentacle 2 if we really crack down on this, right? Maybe 8. Right? He doesn't care as long as he eats the scritches. Brent, I thought you were traveling today. Please tell me you're not driving. If we do 6 days, that puts us at it's 12 shows, right? Because 24. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That puts us at Monday the 13th. For completion. Right? Even Kansas roads are not straight enough to be texting in here. Then, our next target, the next thing on the calendar is, and this is the big question, can we accomplish all of these tasks? No, go away. Okay, whatever. Because I like the idea of having all of these done by the 4th. That puts everything in. Oh God, I've got a class on Sunday. Oh, I miss figure drawing. Oh, that's a bummer. I've got a class on Saturday the 18th. Look at all these things that I've got. Oh my God. In March. Mm. Just fixing stuff here. All right. Okay, I'm going to have to go away real quick. I'll be right back. I promise. It's an AFK thing. I got to go downstairs, so I'll be back in a second. My apologies on that one. I'm waiting. So we have solar panels in our house. There has been this long story behind what's been going on with the solar panels in the house. So every time the doorbell rings downstairs, I have to go check to see if it's Excel because we need them to come. There's one step left, just one. Just one, and that is the inspection from Excel. That's it. So every time the doorbell rings, I have to go check to see if it's the inspector. And literally, he's going to come over here and go, click, and turn everything on. That's all he has to do. And by he, it could be a she. And that's it. So then, of course, I have to go answer the door. So I go downstairs and answer the door, and it's, hi, do you want to buy windows? No, we don't need windows. We're fine. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. I'm in the middle of a stream. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, if you need windows, let me write down your name and go away. The problem is, I'm a nice guy. I've done sales and things like that. I don't want to yell at this guy. He's just doing his job. And I get it. And so it's totally fine. But like legitimately, I've got better things to do. I've got to be somewhere else. Why are none of the things that we are set up for in my calendar? Because I need to come up with, I'm trying to figure out what my deadlines are. So long as you're not driving, that's all I ask. You can be delayed all you need. Anyway, the long and the short of it is, wow. Okay, let's take a look at where are we? Because clearly we have a problem. Wicked West, April 15th and 16th. All right, that gives us, that's the first con on my roster, April 15th and 16th. That's down the road here. Ooh, doggy. Naturally. So I have a camera in my front door, and they want me to pay them money in order for me to get it rigged right. And I'm mad about that because I have a camera, I have a ring on the front door, and I can't control it. That's not true. I can control it if I press this, move this, slide this, press this, and press this. By the time I've done it, the person's walked away, which is always one of the things that aggravates me about these apps. You have to pick up your phone. You have to unlock your phone. Then once you unlock your phone, you have to slide through 6 pages of apps to find the app. You open the app. Then you select the camera that you need to use. Then you select which view you want. I mean, like, and by the time I do that, they've walked away, which is probably not a problem as long as we're talking about this, you know. Yeah. You know, if you ever come up with software that does this, that doesn't require me to, you know, doesn't require a gajillion things. Like, for example, you require me to dump Windows in favor of Linux, which would then promptly make it so that I cannot draw anymore. So that's an issue. Doesn't go over as well. Okay. Yeah, but I don't care. The next one we've applied for is Rocky Mountain Con. Which is November 11th and 12th and not an issue. But let's go ahead and make sure it's in the damn calendar. Because I just noticed that I planned something right on top of being at Wicked West. Because there's the RMC hangout, on my hangout. 11th and 12th. All right. Something on my calendar in September. There's nothing in September that I know of except NDK, but that's a big, huge block. So anything that happens in late August, early September is a loss. There's nothing I can do then. Because I am busy. I'm super busy. Super, super busy. Like ridiculously busy. Those are the only two. The problem is there's an anime hangout in April and a comic collector showcase in June. Pictures of fuzzy children here. And I mean fuzzy because they're totally like blurry. I don't know. Oh, I recognize that child. Yeah. All the staff meetings are in the calendar though, which is what I just noticed. I have a art group meeting for NDK in on top of Wicked West. So I'm gonna have to. Luckily, that's 4 meetings from now. So we were just about to assume that all things will be fine by that point. So we the art committee is in charge of all of the art assets that are going on in the convention, and this is a completely new thing because prior to this we had 2 people who were in charge of it and it was fine, but they had to stand down. It's not a problem, and it's sad and it makes us sad. They had to stand down, but now we're trying to do some changes to the system that we've always wanted to do since we're starting from a fresh start anyway. But the changes to the system are, how do you organize it so all of our art is available to all of the people who are artists in the group, of which there's 6 of us who can possibly take over artwork at any time. and stuff like that. So it's just complicated. That's all. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's just that we've been rolling that up and figuring that up for a while here, and trying to figure out how we're going to do all of that. All right. So, yeah, I think this is good. I like making plans. Okay, Wicked West then is April something to something. I just put it in here. Why am I even? I'm not even qualified to do this job, man. I'm just not. Is it 15th? April 15th. Yeah. Okay. Walk us back 2 weeks on April 15th. That puts us at April 1st. Really, March 31st. Yikes. That's not good. All right. So this puts our print deadline for Wicked West on March 31st. Finishing the omake shouldn't take more than 1 week. But we're coming out of February on the 13th, right? So if we finish the omake, we could finish that by February 17th. Right? So that's what I'm saying. Print deadline is going to be March 31st, right? Because that's 2 weeks for yeah, and I mean, like, so this is where we need to talk about changing course if we need to. Could we get the Springs book on the table in time? That's a plausibility. The art is all done for Springs. So it wouldn't be hard to, I mean, all it needs is just page setting. That's literally all we have left for Springs. It's like 4 or 5 days worth of stupid, boring work where we just load I mean, we already got like 90 strips in. There's only 200 and something strips. So that's my thought. I mean, like, I'm looking at this and it would only take like 2 or 3 days to get Springs moving. And that would give us 4 items on the table. At Wicked West. Right? I mean, my thought is that maybe we should take the low-hanging fruit. If we finish Omake 1, that's February 17th. And if we look at where we are here on our deadlines, if we were to say take to February 21st, maybe. And if we did that, that's, well, 17th. So if we finish the Omake by the 17th and roll it out, that's a weekend, right? So we'd have the 19th, 20th both times, and 21st both times. That's five shows, right? So if we say Springs book, by February 21st, it gives us 5 shows, 5 units, right? If we're coming out of the animations on the 13th, that's one show into the 13th, and we could transition that night. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 shows for the Omake. Right? So that's what I'm thinking here. I don't think I need more than 5 2-hour units to finish the Springs book. It's just boring. The reason why I don't want to do it is because it's loading a comic, cutting the comic up, putting it on the page, placing it correctly, going to the next comic, cutting the comic up. I mean, it's just boring, which is all. Yeah, I mean, Monday night might not be a bad idea to take a break on. Like this is a good show. We're just sitting here kind of talking it out and thinking it through. Now, if we clear that and we hit February 21st and we come out on February 21st, how many shows does that leave us? How many 2-hour blocks does that leave us? I don't like rushing these episodes, though. They're making me a little nervous rushing the episodes. So, I don't want to deadline it. So we've got, let's say we've got 2 starting February on the 22nd, 2, 4, 7, no, 2, 4, 5, 5, 6, 8, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. I'm counting up these. So then after that, we'll have 31.5 days. So 62 until print due. till print. All right. Plausibly. So, Bob, I count Friday through Sunday as one day, right? Because I have a morning show on Friday, but no evening show. And then I have a Sunday night show. So, between Friday to Monday, we only get one day. So, weekends don't count in general. And that's fine. Which means really we only have 5 days a week. And I don't know why I counted 6. Because I can't do math. And I've never been able to do math. So why would I start now? So if we say 5, 10, right. It works. It works really well. I like that. It's comfortable. So we do 5, and then we're in February. So we need these 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, plus 26 and 27. That's 27 days. Now, the truth of the matter is, math's hard. The truth of the matter is, I could probably get it to Bob at the printer as late as March 6th. Or, April 6th if I needed to. But I hate putting things on him at the last minute. It's brutal for him, and I know it, and I appreciate that he is so willing to do these things, but it's not nice for him. It's not nice to him. So I'm going to try to right. Bob's my uncle. And so part of this is also, and I wouldn't mind at all trying to make a run for it. What is the fastest flat out speed that I can achieve? And just saying, we're going to give it a shot to get issue 2 out or episode 1, issue 2 out to the table on time. But we're not going to stress if we don't. We're just going to make a run on it and see what happens. Because I'm curious, if I just laid in on the gas gently, could I, in 1 month, create an issue? Because that would tell me a lot. Well, no. The whole using maquettes and everything like that has gotten us down to a page in a show as speed. So a page every 2 hours. That's the whole point behind using maquettes. If I were to be, say, Kat was saying that she's running 8 to 12 hours a page, depending on the complexity of the page. I'm trying to see if I can't get us down to, say, 2 hours a page, which I should be at. When I was working before on the Omake, we were doing 2 hours a page easy. So that's 2 pages a day in theory, right? So we could crank through it. It could happen. 2 pages a day means that theoretically I could put out a 32-page episode in 16 days. in theory. And that's supposed to be operating speed. That's my target operating speed. That's nothing to do with Can. Can puts out 2 pages a show, which is 4 pages a day. That's still half Can speed. 1/2 metric Can. So we're at 0.5 Cans here. And what I will try to do between now and then is solidify the story for issue 2 and 3 while at Starbucks waiting for my kid to go through karate class. Because like he has karate today for 1 hour. Oh, we're coming in from Brazil. Hola. That's all I got. I'm sorry. If you are getting a translation, though, what part of Brazil? Because Brazil is huge. It is. It's huge. It's massive. It's actually like one of the biggest countries. So, right. And I mean, Sao Paulo, that's awesome. By the way, for those of you who are curious, Sao Paulo is like the 5th largest city in the world and it has a GDP greater than most of the United States. So there's that. Right? I recently learned a whole bunch about Sao Paulo and I was like, I didn't know. All of these things. I didn't know anything about that. That was so cool. That's very pretty too. It's a lot of that. A lot of that city is very pretty. Yes. This would be George. George is the mascot of this show. Yeah, that's Brazilian. But still, welcome to the show. Unfortunately, I don't speak any Portuguese, which is kind of a bummer. Or Spanish. I speak Japanese. Okay, see you tonight. Brent, thanks for joining us. Are you our ascot? Wait until you show up in front of the camera here, and then it'll definitely... Yep, the aforementioned mascot. Who's an ascot? You're an ascot. There you go, guys. George's butt. Welcome to the George's Butt Show. So... do we just call you Nay? Neymar? What's your nickname? What should we call you? Brent is about to lose network, and you've knocked my monitor around again. All right, so I think we've made a battle plan that involves us going quite a ways down. So we are now at, and I would look at my battle plan, but somebody sat on it. You goofus. You're such a goofus. Okay, so we're going to complete Silver Pentacle 2 by February 4th. That works really well because that's the next meeting of, yes, I know, I see your butt. That's the next meeting of the Fort Collins Comic Club, which means the next time that I will be meeting with Ron. Then I've got 6 days of a run to do the DS animations, and that'll be by Monday the 13th. Then we work on Omake 1 until February 17th and complete the Springs book by February 21st. And then we have 27 days to see if we can make a run to finish episode 1, issue 2 with no stressor on that. That sounds like a plan. Does that sound like a plan to you? Sounds like a plan. We've got it. Thanks. I love you too. Yeah, you're going to be the remake of that darn cat. You know that, right? You could do the cat from outer space. We'd get the little collar and put it around your neck and then lights up all the time. That'd be cool. Could you be the cat from outer space? Would you be the cat from outer space? You know the problem with having an all black cat though is it looks like the screen's going black all the time because of you. This. All right. We've made ourselves a battle plan. I like this battle plan. You like this battle plan too? Oof. Oof. It's a good battle plan. This is our battle plan. You're like, battle plan, screech me. Right? That's true. We could do it with LEDs now. Wouldn't even require the lights and the light bulbs in your little collar over here. Weirdo. So I spend most of my show like this with cat ears. It's so funny. Okay. Well, that pretty much burned the rest of this show. Which is fine. I think I'm going to go see if I've got some tape over in this corner. I will tape this to something to remind me we have a plan. So here's our plan. Yeah, there's no way I'm going to get organized in 10 minutes to do anything. So, taping this to my door right here, that'll be great. Stop doing that. Then, while we're at this, I have this guy, which is our 2023 resolutions. Episode 2 of Bellatrix Rising. We'll get to that later. But once we get into production, in theory, Bellatrix Rising shouldn't take that long. A lot of our, and as time goes on, Bellatrix Rising is designed to take even less time because we will have some assets that we can already reuse, right? So some of our assets that we will be able to use again and again will be things like cars and buildings and things like that. So we have to make buildings the first time, but once we've made the buildings, I can just rearrange the buildings and then take another picture of it and it'll be fine. So there's a built-in design that there's a lot of front loading on Bellatrix Rising that at some point in time becomes really simple and becomes easy as time goes on. So I don't have to keep redrawing things and rewriting things. We don't have to worry about it. So, all right. We are going to, yeah, I mean, that's the whole battle plan. That's why we're doing that. That's the reason behind it, right, George? Scratch the George. George's scritchy butt. All right. So, once we've done that, we've done all of this. I've got all of my resolutions. I put them right here on the door. I taped them to my door. And with these little 3x5 cards. So we'll clear this. We'll clear this. Right. Then we have to do other things, because looking at my New Year's resolutions, here are some of the other things we've got to go on this one too. We've got to deal with the fact that where are we on Momentary Ghosts? Or not on Momentary Ghosts, in the Springs book. Does anybody even know? Now's a good time to kind of get an idea of exactly how far down the road we are on this. Yar. Let's load that in. I'm going to take a look at the Springs book and see where we are. So we've got some things that are going to need to be put in here. We're going to have some discussions about what things are and where things are and how things are and stuff like that. So there's going to have to be some writing in here, which again, writing can be done while I'm waiting for the kid who will be at his karate lessons. So I can do all the writing and have that checked, right? But we are, I mean, there's more than 59 pages. We haven't even gotten to the color pages yet, right? I mean, like the color pages are everything 2015 and on. So and this number here, 94, was a guess. I've already pretty much presumed I'm going to have to expand beyond these pages, just knowing how things work. But this is a nice, solid, large piece of work as well. I've done some good work here. And we'll have to make a cutoff at 2022 and just put that as our last ones and just say anything 2023 and forward is not in here. So that's a thing. But this guy, he's going to Superior POD, I believe, because it's a print on demand. And I think that since it's a book, it'll cost us more to have it done here locally at Aptera. So I'm going to send it on to Superior POD. Just this one. All of my local stuff I'll do. I mean, all the comic strip stuff, comic book stuff I'll do to send it to Aptera, which is local. That's Bob, our buddy Bob. So that seems like a thing. I think we've got a good battle plan. That seems to be good at addressing my anxieties and things like that for ADD. trying to work around ADD is difficult, generally speaking. So, um, and negotiating ADD is always a little difficult. My brain does not like to operate the way normal people's brains work. So I have problems just processing data sometimes. So looking at this, okay, I think that's good. I think that we'll have to do some assessments on where we are and what's left before we move to the next stage. So we'll go on ahead and do an assessment on this and run some ideas around and see where we are. Boop, 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 boop. I think that's it. Yeah, the lack of a plan doesn't help. Right. I was just saying that before this morning. I texted Alex and said, okay, so what's going on? What's the status? And he was like, do you want to meet at 8 o'clock and do our walk? Because I'd rather do 11. And I'm like, nope. I'm just making sure that my plans are correct for the day, because my 11 o'clock transition is a lot easier if I know what I'm doing, because I can continue to roll. Like, this would tell me a little bit about what I need to do next, right? In the instance of this, I know I need to move on to walking, which is why we haven't started anything, because I know that I will not finish it and it will drive me crazy. And all I will be able to think about while walking is that I need to finish this thing. So we're transitioning out of this. We're transitioning out of everything else. We're good. And then I will continue operate Silver Pentacle unless there is a priority. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask today at the 3 o'clock meeting if they have a problem with me completing everything by February 13th. And if they're okay with that, if they're okay with me completing all of the tasks by February 13th, then I'll just do it in a run. No, I meet Alex at 11:15. That gives me time to go put shoes on and drive over to his place. I'm not in that big of a hurry. We always meet at 11:15. That way I can clear my show and clear everything that needs to be cleared and stuff. So, yep. So in today's meeting, I now know what I'm going to be saying to the meeting crew, and we're good. And then I need to just make sure I meet with Jake to get an idea of what he wants me to do, and we'll be working on that one, and I'm not worried about anything. Okay, good. I think we've accomplished all goals today. What a good, productive show. I mean, I didn't get any drawing done, but it was a good, productive show. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Brett. Even though, Brent, I don't know why I keep calling you Brett. You're Brett now. Just accept it. Brent, you are now, between the two of you guys, we really got this figured out. I think we did a good job on that one. And Nay, I'm just going to call you Nay. Thank you for joining me. Right? How can you say? Wonder if we're talking about the same Brett. Anyway, maybe we are. Sometimes the circles are very small. So, let's see, anything else to think about? No. Okay. Well then, guys, we've accomplished a great many things by just getting organized. We now know what kind of damage we're doing. Oh, you're talking about Alex. I think you're talking about Brett. I know a Brett, so it's like, but I'm like, he's a car guy, so he's in the car world over here, which is not the anime world. So if they meet, I'm always like, how do you know each other? Because you're in two different universes, You're in a different clan group or whatever. So, alrighty. I will tell Alex you said hi. And I will see all of you guys tonight. And as always, keep your eyes on the stars. Bye-bye.